We continue now at the top of Daf Yomi Gemara from Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 22a. And the previous summit of Yosef said that Rav Huna, who normally says you can prevent someone from opening up, from competing in terms of business, however, Rav Huna would admit that when it comes to a school teacher, you can't stop him. The competitor is not able to stop the other school teacher. And the reason is because Kinaso from Tar B'Chachma, because the jealousy of the scribes, it increases wisdom, meaning to say it's good to have competition within this area. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, Umod Rav Huna B'Rei Rav Yoshua. Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua, he would admit. Now Rashi explains, Umod Rav Huna B'Rei Rav Yoshua. Afagav de Amar, even though Rav Huna B'Rei Rav Yoshua said, Bar Masa Achrisi Motzi Ma'akev, that a resident of one city can prevent a non-resident from competing. Milahavi Kan V'Limchor, he can prevent him from coming here and selling. But Moda, who he admits, as we'll see in a moment, Barochlin Mochre B'Samim Hamachzirin Bayoros, when we're talking about salesmen, merchants who go from place to place selling perfumes, Lahavi B'Samim L'Noshim Le'Skashit Behen, they bring perfume for the women to adorn themselves with. Delo Matzu La'akev Alayu, so there you can't stop Rochle Yo'ir, the people who sell, the salesmen, you can't stop these other salesmen from coming in. Again, back in the Gemara, Amar of Nachman Bar Yitzchak, Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, Umod Rav Huna B'Rei Rav Yoshua, Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua, admits, Barochlin Hamachzirin Bayaros, with the salesmen that go from place to place, from one city to the other, Delo Matzi Ma'akev, you can't stop them, Diamar Mar, because the master said, Ezra Tiken Lahem Yisrael, Ezra instituted for Klal Yisrael, Shiurochlin Machzirin Bayaros, that the salesmen should go from one city to the next, Kadeshu Tachshitin, Mesuyin Livnos Yisrael, so that the perfumes, the adornments should be ready for Benos Yisrael, for the daughters of Israel. V'hani mili lahaduri. Now that's only true if they're traveling from one place to the next. But to set up a shop, no, that we would not allow them to do. V'yitzor b'mei rabbanan, now if the person is a scholar, afilu like buei nami, they could even set up a shop. Ki hadu Rava sharu l'hu Rav Yoshia ul Rav Ovadia. It was like Rava who permitted Rav Yoshia and Rav Ovadia la'akvue to set up a shop. The lo kehilchasa was not like the standard halacha, meaning it's an exception for a tzor b'mei rabbanan. My time, and what's the reason? Kaven de rabbanan ninhu, since they are rabbanan, since they are scholars, asu letardo migirsai, if they have to travel around, it's going to distract them from their learning. And the Gemara continues, Hanhu dikuloi da'aisu dikuloi leBavel. There were these basket sellers, they brought their baskets to Bavel. Asu b'nei Masa Kama'akvi, and the people of the city, they wanted to prevent them from selling. Kama'akvi Elavayu, they wanted to prevent them from selling. Asu l'kami de Ravina, they came before Ravina. Amar Luhu, he said to them, Mayalma Asu, they came from outside the city. Ulialma Lizvanu, let them sell to people outside the city. Now what that means is, since it's the day of the marketplace, people are coming from all over to buy, it's perfectly fine for them to sell, because they're selling to non-residents. But the Gemara says, V'hani mili biyom d'shukah. Now that's true only on the day of the marketplace when non-residents are coming in to buy. Avol below yom d'shukah lo. But if it's not the day of the marketplace, they can't sell. Uv'yom d'shukah nami lo amrin. And even on the day of the marketplace, we only said it's okay. El l'zvune b'shukah, only if they're selling in the marketplace itself. Avol hadure lo. But to go around selling in other places, that would be a problem. And the Gemara continues, Hanu Amoroi, Da'aisu Amr Lefum Nahara. There were these wool sellers, and they brought their wool to Pum Nahara, which was the name of a city. Also, B'nei Masa Kama'akvi Elavayu, the people of the city wanted to prevent them from selling. Also, Lakami de Rav Kahana, they came before Rav Kahana. Amar Lui said to them, Dinahu Ma'akvi Elaychu, they're correct in preventing you. You're not allowed to do business here. Amru Lei, they said back to him, Islan Ashroi, we have over here debts that we're collecting. We need to support ourselves until we collect all of those debts. And so the Gemara says, Amar Lui said to them, Zilu Za'avnu Shirchi Usaichu, go and sell enough to sustain yourselves. Ada Krisu Ashroi Dirchu, until you collect your debts. V'yazlisu, and then you'll go. And Rashi explains, Amoroi is Mochret Semer, again, people selling wool. Islan Ashroi B'masa, we have these debts. Macharnu Ba'amana, what it means is we sold, and we sold on credit. People owe us money. Utzrichamanu Lishos Kanat Shenig V'chovos Shalon, we have to stay here till we collect these debts. V'meinonu Mochrin Schoroseinu Ba'menisparnis, if we don't sell what we have over here, we're not going to be able to support ourselves. And the Gemara continues, Rav Dimi min Nahardoi, I see Grogros Besfina. Rav Dimi from Nahardoi, he was bringing dried figs in a boat. Amar le Reish Galusa l'Rava, the Reish Galusa, the exilarch, said to Rava, Pok chazi itzur b'mei rabbanan, who go and see if he's a Talmud Chacham, if he's a scholar, and naked le shuka, if he is indeed a tzur b'mei rabbanan, give him the exclusive rights to the marketplace. Amar le Rava le Rav Ada bar Abba. So Rava said to Rav Ada bar Abba, Poke tehile b'kankanin, go check his jug, meaning to say, go and check, see if he really is a scholar. Nafak azal, so he went out, boy minei, and he asked him the following question. Pil shabola kfifa mitzris, if you have an elephant that swallows a wicker basket, v'hikia derech beis harei, and then it comes out with the excrement. Mahu, what's the halach in terms of being makabel tumah? Lo have a biyade, so the Gemara says he didn't know the answer. Amar Lei said to him, Mar niu Rava, so he said to him, are you Rava, meaning to say, Rav Dimi said to Rav Ada bar Abba, are you Rava, because you asked such a difficult question? So Tafak Lei Besandale, he hit him on his shoe in a disparaging manner. Amar Lei, and he said to him, Bein didi le Rava ikatuva, between me and Rava, meaning this is again Rav Ada bar Abba talking, between me and Rava, there's a great difference between me and Rava, he's greater than me by a lot. Miu, nevertheless, al karchach, by force, ano Rabbach, I'm clearly your Rebbe, I'm clearly greater than you. That's what he told Rav Dimi. The Rava Rabba de Rabbach, and Rava is the Rebbe of your Rebbe, meaning Rava is my Rebbe. And so the Gemara says in the end, Lo noktu le shuka. So in the end, they didn't give Rav Dimi the marketplace, and pasid grogros didei, he lost his dried figs. Also, Lakami de Rav Yosef. So Rav Dimi came before Rav Yosef to complain that they didn't give him the market. Amar Lei said to him, Chazi mar mayavduli, look at what they did to me, master, look what they did to me. Amar Lei said to him, Mandelo shaya la onisa de malka de Edom, the one who didn't delay to punish for the humiliation of the king of Edom, lo nishi lo onisich, he also should not delay to punish for the way you were oppressed. T'chsiv, as it's written, Ko Amar Hashem, so says Hashem, al shlosha pishei Moav, on the 3 sins of Moav, v'al arbon, on the 4th, lo ashivenu, I will not return him. What was the crime? Al sarfo atzmos melech Edom, on the fact that he burned the bones of the king of Edom. So you see again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took retribution for the pain on the king of Edom, so too he should take retribution for the pain against you. Lasid, that's the end of the pasuk. Again, he burned the bones of the king of Edom to lime. And the Gemara then says, Noch nafshe de Rav Ada bar Abba. So Rav Ada bar Abba died. Again, Rav Ada bar Abba was the one that asked the difficult question and then insulted Rav Dimi. And the Gemara says, Rav Yosef, Rav Yosef said, Ano anishtei, I'm really the one responsible for this punishment. Da ano lataise, because I was the one that cursed him. Meaning to say, Rav Dimi came to me and I said that this person who oppressed you would be punished. And that's why Rav Ada bar Abba was punished. Rav Dimi min Nardoi, Rav Dimi from Nardoi said, Ano anishtei, I'm actually the one responsible. Da Av said, Grogros didi, because it was my dried figs that were the ones that were lost. Abaye says, Ano anishtei, actually the reason why he was punished, it was me, I'm the one that punished him. The Yomer Lehul Rabbanon, because he said to the Rabbanon, meaning to say, Rav Ada bar Abba would tell the Rabbanon, Admagramisu garmi be Abaye, instead of gnawing on bones by Abaye, Suachlu bisra shmeina be Rava, you should go learn Rava, you should get the fat meat from Rava's house, meaning you should study with Rava. In a sense, Rav Ada bar Abba was insulting Abaye, and so Abaye is saying that's why Rav Ada bar Abba actually was punished. The Rav Amar and Rava says, I'm actually the one that punished him. Because when he went to the butcher to get meat, Amar Lu Letavchi, he would say to the butcher, I should get the meat before the servant of Rava, because I'm greater than him. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said, I'm the reason why I got punished. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Reish Kala Hava, because Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, he was the Reish Kala, meaning he would give the drasha to the public on the Shabbos. Every day before he went to give this drasha, Marit Bahadei Rav Ada bar Abba l'shmaite, Rav Ada bar Abba would go over the learning with him. Then he would go in to give the drasha. How Yoma, that particular day, Naktur Rav Papa Rav Huna Bered Rav Yoshua the Rav Ada bar Abba. Rav Papa and Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua, they held up Rav Ada bar Abba Mishum de lo have b'siyuma, because they weren't there at the end of the shir. Amrulei, and they said to him, Eimalon hanishmaitza de meiser behema hechi amrinu Rava. They said to him, tell us exactly what Rava said with regards to meiser behema. So that's how they held him up. Amar Lahu, so he said to them, Hachi Amar Rava, Hachi Amar Rava. This is what Rava said. This is what Rava said. Adahacha nagalei Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. So in the end, again, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak was delayed because of this. Amrulei Rabbanon Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. So the Rabbanon said to Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Kum de nagalon, come. It's getting late. You need to start. Lama Yosef Mar. Why is the master sitting? Amar Lahu, he said to them, Yosivna v'kamintra la'arse to Rav Ada bar Abba. I'm sitting and I'm waiting for the coffin of Rav Ada bar Abba. Of Rav Ada bar Abba. At that point in time, in the meantime, a rumor went out, and Nach Nafshe, the Rav Ada bar Abba, that indeed Rav Ada bar Abba died. Umistabra, it makes sense to say, the Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Anshe, that it was Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak that punished him, because it was right after he had made that statement. And Rashi explains, Tehile bekankane, again, Rava said to Rav Ada bar Abba, go smell his jar. That's what it means literally. That's in terms, again, of Rav Dimi, find out if he's a Torah scholar. Hey riach lo bekankano im yayin huim chometz, you should smell it, see if it's it's wine or if it's vinegar. Kolomar, as if to say, but keyu b'halachos, check him with halachos, ask him questions, im Talmud Chacham hu im lav, see if he's a Talmud Chacham or not. And Rashi continues, Kfifa Mitzris, the question he asked him was with regards to a wicker basket, salnit sorim shel harav, again, a wicker basket, mahu michoshev kemucho, so if it's swallowed by the elephant, is it considered like it's digested, v'havale kli glolim, then it's considered in the category of kli glolim, vessels of dung, ve'ein makabel tumod, it's not going to be makabel tumah anymore. And Rashi continues, al sorfu, again, they punished Moav because of the sin of burning the king of Edom's bones to lime, machmas bizoyon, that's like a humiliation. And Rashi continues, Reish Kala means Doresh Barabim B'Shabbos, he would give public lectures on the Shabbos, to lo have b'siyuma, and so then it says that Rav Papa and Rav Huna Breder Rav Yoshua, they held up Rav Ada Barava because they weren't at the finishing. And Rashi says, Yesh Omrim Shelo Hayu Be'etz, so some say it means to say that they weren't there when they were deciding Kishanasir Rav Nachman Reish Kala, when the decision was being made that Rav Nachman should be the Reish Kala. V'yesh Omrim, others say that it means to say, to lo have b'siyuma the Pirka de Rava, they weren't there at the end of the Shir of Rava, the Dorish B'Shabbos, or Regel Hilchas Amuros, B'Perak Achron Shal Bechoros, he was darshaning these particular halachas, Shmaitza de Meiser Behema, halachas about Meiser Behema, B'Perak Achron de Bechoros, this is the last parak of Bechoros, V'Rava Amrinu B'Sofa de Pirka, Rava said it at the end of the Shir. And Rashi continues, Asu Rabbanan, the Rabbanan came, Talmidei HaYeshiva, meaning the students, Haboim L'Shmor, they were coming to hear, and it was getting late. They said, what are you waiting for? He said, Natarna Arse de Ravada, I'm waiting for the beer of Ravada, I'm waiting for the coffin, Ani Mitzape Kan Shiyaviu, Asmitas Ravada Shemesa, I'm waiting that they bring the coffin of Ravada that he died, and indeed that's exactly what happened. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Misha Yakoslo Samach Lekosel Chaveru, if somebody has a wall near the wall of his friend, Lo Yismach Lo Kosel Acher, he shouldn't put another wall there, Elim Ken Hirchik Mimenu Arba Amos, unless he distances it 4 Amos. Rashi here says, Lo Yismach Lekosel Chaveru Kosel Acher, Elim Ken Mefarish Begemara. This whole line will be explained in the Gemara. And the Mishnah continues, Hachalonos, when it comes to windows, Bein Milmalon, Bein Milmatan, whether above, whether below, Bein Kenegdan, whether opposite them, Arba Amos, you should always have a separation of 4 Amos. And Rashi says, V'achalonos, when it comes to windows, Mishayu lo chalonos psuchim l'chatzer chaveru, if somebody has windows that are opened up into the courtyard of his friend, V'hochzik b'davar zeh shalosh shanim, he has this already for 3 years, Ubabal ha'chatzer livnos sham kosel, now a person who lives in the chatzer wants to build a wall, Tzarech l'shar dalet amos, he has to measure 4 amos, Bein milmalon in bola hagbia, yagbia kosel dalet amos min hachalonos, if he's going to make it a very high wall, it should be 4 amos at least, above the walls, above the windows rather, Bein milmatan, or let's say it'll be below, in boliv no so namach, if it's a low wall, tzarech lashbilo minachalonos dalet amos, it has to be lower by at least 4 amos, it can't be within 4 amos of the wall, of the window. V'taima mefarish begemara, the reason will be explained in the Gemara. Bein michanegdan, also opposite the window, tzarech larchiko mehen dalet amos, it has to be 4 amos away from them. And the Gemara says, what's going on in this mission over here? It says, there's a wall near the wall of his friend, don't put another wall. Well, how did the first wall get there? How was he permitted to build that first wall? And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yehuda says, this is what it means to say, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Chav Beis Amud Beis.